What's up, guys? What's up, guys? This is Illusion from RunThatPodcast. Welcome to another episode. Shout out to my crew, Camilo, Juliana, Vic. Thank you guys for having me here today. We have a special guest, Tatiana. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm nervous. I'm about to cry.
Yeah. Well, you're making me kind of like nervous as well. But we never met. No. This is our first time meeting. And actually, the whole reason we even got you on was because we see your page and it's like, okay, like you have this like personality, and I'm surprised you don't even have your own like segments. Like you do have Tots Taste Test, but you don't have your own. Like
everyone wants like a segment, but I'm a perfectionist, and if something doesn't turn out the way I want it to be, I'm like, fuck it, I don't want it anymore.
Really?
I'm very like picky. If I don't laugh at it, I don't want it. It's very like no.
But then, but before I even go into what the segment I'm talking about, you are a certified personal trainer.
I am, yeah.
And how did that come about? Like, is that something you've always wanted to do?
No, I mean, so when I went to college, I actually wanted to be a math teacher because I feel like when I went to Dover, all the teachers sucked. Like they explained math horribly, and I would tutor everybody.
Did you have Mr. Hernandez? Is that what you're saying?
No. I had Miss Murray. Do you remember Miss Murray?
Mm-mm.
No, yeah, I had her, and she made me love math. And then after that, I had another teacher, but he was horrible. I forget. I think it starts Purdue. No.
Oh yeah,
I'm not sure.
Purdue.
You remember him? Sucked. And I'm just like, I don't understand why you're making it so complicated. So I'm like, I'm gonna make it easy. So I wanted to be a college professor for like calculus. Freaking, I know, right? It's totally out of the blue. And then I went to college for math. And then I'm like, I don't want to be in school. To go back to school, like that kind of sucks. And then my mom was like, oh well, like why don't you be a gym teacher? Because I was going at the gym at the time. And I'm like, that's the same thing. I'm going to go back to school. Like, I'm going to be teaching young kids. Like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then she's like, okay, well, just think about it. And I was already at 2 years at CCM. And I'm like, am I literally about to change my whole major to like something completely different? So then I changed my major. Only like a couple credits went through. Then I had to do another 2 years. So I was at CCM for 4 years. And then after that, I was like, okay, well, the whole goal was to open my own gym. So I was like, I want to open up my own gym, but I need like their credentials. So I did 2 years of CCM for exercise science, and then I got my certification like within that year.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, you went from wanting to have people be comfortable and fun with math to just being a personal trainer. But, I think you have that though, because your energy is like really like
it's a lot. It's a lot.
But that's how you are as well. Like there was some. So obviously not trying to be a creep. I wasn't being a creep because I had to make my research.
You?
No, but I had to go and look at your stuff, and it's like you're talking about like let's do these ab workouts, and like you're like motivated. I'm like, yo, this girl should be on the P90X videos.
Dude, I'm freaking pumped.
Yeah,
like, it's so fun. Like I don't understand. People are just like, I'm like I don't want to do it. I'm like, but this is for you. Like if anything, this is your selfish time to like have fun, and I get hyped. It's
where do you get this energy from, yo?
I have no idea. I'm not on any drugs. It's all like natural, and maybe it's the caffeine, but it's just all natural energy. And I've always just been like hyper all the time. Like my parents put me in sports, and then when I left high school, I wasn't doing like cheerleading anymore. Like I did that, and then I like worked out with like the boyfriend I had at the time. And then, like, I was always active. And then suddenly, like, college came. And I was like, this newfound freedom. I'm like, so I have class at 11 a.m. So I could sleep, go to class, then sleep again. I'm like, this is great. So I gained, like, so much weight in college. And then I was like, okay, I need to go back.
So you got the freshman 15 type of stuff.
Oh, most definitely. 100%. I gained, like, 15, 20 pounds. So it was, like, I'm short. So it, like, went wide. And then I lost the weight. And then I just got addicted to the gym.
Really?
And I was like, this is so much fun. Like, it was just fun. Because everyone was like, oh, like, I could bench more than you. And I'm like, bet. You're going down.
Oh, so you take those as signs.
I'm very competitive. I was born with boys. So I was like, oh, you're about to, like, get murdered.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And, like, I can't really talk much of that because my roommate, actually, Edwin, this guy, he would be the guy to like tell me, yo, we're gonna go to the gym. For me, it was like, I'm gonna do 45 minutes and that's it, bro. Like I'm done. Like after that, let me just go back home. And he's like, no.
Oh my god.
So he would literally do. I would start like just looking at him or like what do you call that when you're just standing there? It's like make sure
observing.
No. When they're like
spotting you.
Spotting. I became the spotter, his spotter the whole time because I just didn't want to keep going. Like
you're just like done.
He would do 2 hours of it, and it's like
that's excessive.
They start getting addicted to the gym. I feel like that could be addiction,
I'm not
right?
that crazy.
Well, how long do you go into?
Like an hour maybe.
Oh, okay.
If I don't do cardio, like it's an hour. If I do cardio, it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
2 hours
saying
is a
you're getting
little
people
crazy.
agreeing with you.
Then
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, you know. It's like it depends on like the time.
It's hard for me to like really go to the gym because. Like, and I'm getting weight. These freaking viewers, they're telling me, it's like, yo, we've seen you.
You get a little thick. Like
I've never been called thick one day until
with 2 C's.
Yo, but yeah, man, like they told me that shit, and I see myself in the videos, and like, wow. So I do my cardios because I've always done running. Like that was like my thing.
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah.
Freaking can't. I run like a toddler. It's like little tiny steps. And my boyfriend's like 6'4", and he's like leaping like a giraffe. And I'm just like, I can't catch up. Running is like my hardest like thing.
How much of so they say okay, you do the exercises, but then they say that's just like the tip of the iceberg, right? Because everything has to do with.
It like all depends on like where you're at. Because like everyone starts like different. Like you could be a complete beginner and you have to start with the fundamentals, or you're experienced but you're like lacking like that structure. So like it all depends on like where you are. Like each client I go to, like I start from the bottom, and if they're excelling, I'm like great, now we go to like the next step. And then if you're excelling there, we go more and more. Just like every program that I make right now is like completely different, like off from each other.
How many wow, so you have clients already?
Yeah, I work 2 jobs. So like I truck drive full time, and then I personal train. Like I'm on the phone, like talking to them. They're like, oh yeah, like I couldn't get this exercise. Like I don't know why I couldn't do it. And I was like, all right, like no problem. Send me a video and I'll critique you, because like it's all online. Because I truck drive for like 12-hour days, 15-hour days. I'm like, I can't go to the gym, and like it wouldn't be fair to the client for me like doing that. So it's all online.
Yeah, because you want to give them the undivided attention.
Yeah, right? It's just like I'm not gonna like wear myself thin and cry, because when I'm so tired I cry.
Yo, because you're doing a lot.
I do. My schedule is so absurd, but I wouldn't change it, because it's just like I've never been so financially stable and able to like do whatever I want. Like I worked 2 jobs during college, and I worked I think like 60-hour work days, or work weeks. And I wouldn't make as much money as I'm making now. So it's like crazy. I was like, damn.
So are you off on the weekends, basically? That's your only...
Yeah, so my only... Like, it depends, like, usually on the weather, too. Like, if it's too dangerous to drive, they won't let us drive. Well, it's comfortable.
Okay. Before I dig into that, like, let me just... So, how strong are you with your clients? I'm trying to have a free consultation right here.
Are you kidding me right now? What's the address? I'm a bill. Do you live here?
with their eating habits though, because they, this guy especially, he tells me, he's like, yeah, bro, like you could work out, but at the end of the day, it's what you eat. It's all
about your diet. Like I think it was something along the lines of like it's 30% gym and then like 60%. See you should. Why don't you train him then? You know so much.
I tell him you can't outwork a bad diet. That's what I told you.
Wow.
Listen though.
That is true. You can't outwork a bad diet.
But what is a bad diet?
What's the definition? So like I remember I was like, this is when I wasn't certified and I wasn't like educated at all. Like I was in my math program and I would go to the gym like hard, but I would be eating bread like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm like, I weigh the same, I look the same, but I feel like I'm stronger, but I'm not losing anything. Like my physique is still the same, and it all comes down to you need to be in a caloric deficit.
Okay.
Like so, like let's say like out of average you eat like 3,000 calories a day. Let's just say. Like I would say track your day normal. Like eat whatever you want, whatever you do normally, track it. Let's say it's 3,000 calories. I'm like, okay, let's deduct 200. Because if you deduct, let's say like, oh, I'm going to go on like, I'm like only 1,200 calories a day, you're going to like be starving. We don't want you to be starving. It's like a gradual, like you want to minus like 200 calories and then just keep it at that. Keep it at that. and just deducting 200 calories a day, you'll notice a difference.
So it's like almost type of like a Weight Watcher type of thing, right?
Yeah. Like usually,
so
I can I have to say this, like I am not like certified to give you a nutrition plan because I'm not a nutritionist.
So that's a different thing.
That's a whole nother monster of nutrition. Yeah. Like I could recommend, be like, oh, like this worked for me, but not everything that works for me is going to work for you. You could be like, oh, keto's fantastic. I tried keto. I hated it. It sucked. Who does not want to eat carbs all the time? Like, so that sucked for me. But right now I'm getting certified right now to be a weight loss management coach. So I'm trying to like certify myself in that because most of my clients like are a little bit overweight and I don't want to like misguide them or like not feel sympathy towards like where they are. So like I'm taking like, I paid like, I forget how much to take a course on that. And it's pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Like what people go through, like it's not just like they're overweight. It's like way more than that. Like they had to go through something to get where they are and you can't just like take it lightly. It's so serious. It's crazy. Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to make you cry.
No, well now it's like damn it. Because I really love good food, man. But sometimes like it pains me to see when I'm either on the bike or just running on the treadmill because it's like I need to see how much calories I'm burning. And it sucks because you barely take out 200 calories from there, but I had just consumed so much in the day.
It's a bowl of cereal without milk.
Exactly. So it's like it's crazy. So I'm gonna be more stricter with what I eat, I guess.
You're gonna check on it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because yeah.
Well, it also depends on what you like. Because if you don't like what you're doing or what you're training, you're not gonna go back. So you want to do something that you like. It could be like cycling. It could be like CrossFit. It could be like Orange Theory. Orange Theory is have you ever tried Orange Theory?
What is that? That's
what?
That's like a personal gym, right?
It's like a group class. It's like a rave, but without the drugs. Like it's like you're bumping and you're on the bike and this girl Carol is like yelling at you. She's like, "Come on, Tatiana," and I'm like running. Like it's like intense.
Oh, so you've taken that?
I've tried it. Yeah. I personally am just like I'll do a group class like maybe once or twice a month because I'm like just a change of scenery I like, but I don't need it. I'm like, it's just for fun, but it's like a rave in there. So I'm like, if you want to if you excel at group classes, do group classes. If you excel at like biking by yourself, bike by yourself. Like do something that's like this.
That's active but makes it fun for me, right?
Yeah, it's like it's personal. Like it's your time. Like this, you're doing this for yourself and nobody else.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't, and that it's like for you. So make it fun. Like if you don't like CrossFit, don't fucking do CrossFit. Do something else. Like do something that's gonna burn calories. If you just like taking a cycling class, do a cycling class. Like if you want to jump on a trampoline, jump on a trampoline. Like it's just like it's all personal to you. So
got it.
Do what you like.
I'm gonna start doing that then.
Yeah.
Probably shoot hoops and stuff, but damn.
Yeah.
It's just you eat so much and then you think you could like at least for me, once you get older, you start hitting certain parts of your body where you're like, damn, I can't just lose it as I was when I was younger.
Don't talk about age. Oh my gosh. The more I get older, I'm just like, it joints. I was like, why? Like I wake up and I'm like, I just don't want to move today. I'm like, I can't.
It catches up, right?
Yeah. I just turned 26 and I feel like I'm 40.
You 26?
Yeah, I know. Don't I look good? Just kidding. Yeah, I'm 26.
You look young. I'm 26. First of all. Well, who doesn't look young? We all look young right here, but you're 26. You're older than all of us here right now. That's crazy. Except for...
Wait, are you the grade above me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, I flunked first grade. So... Got you. Oh, wait, hold on. I flunked first grade because I didn't know English. Oh. Let's just start off there. My parents got off the boat and then they were speaking broken English to me. So I was like practicing that in school. And so my teacher was like, yeah, she should be held back. She doesn't know how to spell. Also, I'm dyslexic. So I'm just like, fuck you, Miss Costa.
Fuck Miss Costa.
Remember her?
Yeah, Miss Costa?
Fuck Miss Costa.
What was that? Academy? Northover? What was it?
No, she was Academy. Yeah, Academy. Damn. Like, she was fine, but, like, fuck her. Shut up. Like, oh, yeah. Like, when I was 5, But, yeah, she flunked me, and then, like, I didn't know. And my mom didn't know what she what she did.
Yeah.
So when I went back and I saw that number 1, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I see my cousin Natalie, because we're at the same age, walk to the number 2 door. And I'm like, am I repeating first grade?
Holy
so
shit.
I repeated first grade because I didn't know, like, my English was not that good.
You were going to be class of 2013 with us. Yeah. That's crazy. Wow.
I know.
That's crazy. That's kind of fucked up, but that's the school system. We're not even going to go into that.
Let's not.
But let's go into this, though. The other thing that I saw about you, well, is that you are a truck driver, and I think this is family business, right?
It is a family business.
So what is this? Like, you guys drive trucks for what? Like transporting what type of stuff?
So we transport like asphalt, so to make the roads. Okay. And then we transport stone, beach sand, sand, stone, sand.
You're handling like heavy duty stuff. Okay.
That basically like is what the material that makes your roads. So like we transport material to like certain locations, whoever orders it, to make asphalt, and that asphalt is transported by like a concrete truck that then goes on the roads and like makes the roads smoother. Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, you haven't hit New Jersey then, because we have so many
problems. It's trash. It's trash.
But that's cool. Who started the business?
Oh my gosh, like, you're gonna make me cry. It's so awesome. My brothers inspire me so much. So, sponsored by J&R Transport. So my brother Jeffrey started, I don't remember how, I think he was like 18 or 19. He started truck driving. Hold on. He didn't start the business. He started truck driving. Like, wow. And he graduated Dover in 2004. And he started truck driving so he could pay off college. So he went to college for accounting. And he met his wife, Rachel, in college too. Like, they were both at CCM. And they met there, and they were dating, whatever. And then he started truck driving and going to school at the same time. So he's making all this money and paying off school, like, each and every, like, month, like, paying it off. And then he saw, like, oh, shit. Like, this is actually, like, good money. Like, imagine if I owned, like, more. Mm-hmm. So when he started it, I think it was, like, 2011. I think I was, like, how the fuck old was I? I was, like, 11. At this point. So I've been around it like most of my life. So he started in 2011. He had one truck and he worked triples. So morning, night, morning. Jeez. Slept. And at this time, I think he had his first son. So his wife was doing all of the like paperwork and billing and everything, and also having a brand new fresh child. Yeah. And I told him, like, you guys are monsters. Like, they're beasts in the goodest way possible. So he was working triples, paying off this truck, supporting his family, and then like buying another truck, and then slowly building his company that I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago, they built their own like establishment, and it's in Landing. And when I saw it, like, I was like, oh shit. Like, I cried. I was like,
yeah, because you saw the whole journey.
I saw the whole thing, and like he sacrificed like his time and time with his family to do this, but like, his wife especially was like, you go do that and I'll handle the family. Wow. She took like the biggest, like,
couldn't have like, found a better partner.
Yeah, literally. Like, cause not saying like all like women will do this, but like not a lot of wives will be like, yeah, go work triples like every day. Yeah. And like, I'll take care of a newborn. Like, she was like, no, do it. Like, and it'll pay off. And it did. I think he's on his like 13th dump truck and he's only growing. And then, yeah, my brother Kevin started working with him after high school, because he finished high school, and then he's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then my brother's like, drive trucks with me. Like, drive it with me. And I think he only had 2 trucks at that time. And then now, I think it was last week, our 13th truck came into the shop. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. Wow. You know how much a dump truck is? It's a house. It's a freaking house.
Well, look at the freaking design of them. Those things are monsters.
Things are huge. I was like, I forgot, I Googled it. He didn't tell me how much it was. I Googled it. I'm pretty sure it was way more. It was like 250,000.
Oh, that is a house.
That's like a basic model. And I was like, that's a fucking house. I went up to him, like, yo, could I have a raise? I'm like, you could afford that? Like, give me a raise. He's like, nah. And I'm like, damn it. But yeah, he works hard, and my brother I'm 26. I think he's 35. He's 35.
And he's still young and got his own business.
Dude, he's a freaking 35 years old, and he have 13 trucks already. He's a freaking beast. He's fucking awesome.
So I would say you grab inspiration from him.
Oh yeah. Well, my dad's an entrepreneur too. Like he owns his own like cleaning company.
Oh yeah.
And then my brother owns his own trunking company and then I'm like, fuck everyone. I want to own my own business.
Gotcha.
So that's where I went. Like that's where like I drove from. Like I want to own my own gym. And then I started driving. Literally started driving when the pandemic hit. I just quit my job, and then all of a sudden, the first week of my training to drive, it's like everyone in lockdown. I'm like, did I just fucking lose my job?
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, am I crazy? Like, am I just about to lose my job because of the pandemic? Mm-hmm. But I haven't stopped driving.
Wow.
Because we're essential, quote unquote essential. So I'm like, fuck everyone. I was like, thank God.
That's good though. What a blessing. Because good thing he didn't take a hit. Like that, you guys have been able to keep going in business. But how is that like? Because you are, and we don't ever. Well, I don't really see that many women as truck drivers. You know what I mean?
It's a shame.
Really?
I'm like, girls, let's get the bag. Let's get our money.
Did you have to get like CDL license or whatever?
Yeah, so like I'm like emotional. So like I cry when I'm scared. I don't know, like I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So like I cry when I'm nervous and I'm crying when I'm scared. I think I cry about everything. So my brother, I remember like my brother Kevin drives too. Like both my brothers drive. And they're making so much money. Like they don't tell me how much they were making. But I was like, oh my gosh, like they're getting cars, they're getting clothes, they're getting like whatever. And I'm like, with that like ease, like, oh, like swipe that card.
Way I got it.
Like, oh, yeah. $500. And I'm just like, I only have like 10 cents in my bank account, like as a college student. So I was working at a medical office and I was joking. I was like, hey, I want to be a truck driver. And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, okay, whatever. They said no, like for the first like year. But
so they were against it.
My big brother Jeffrey was. He's like, no. He's like, I don't even have room for you because all of his trucks were taken. For his workers. And I'm like, okay. Like I was joking, but a little bit serious. And then my brother Kevin's like, why don't you drive? And I'm like, because Jeffrey doesn't hire me. And as a woman, I was like, I'm scared to go anywhere else because like my brothers would take care of me.
Of course.
If something bad were to happen, like they would take care of me. They would guide me to the right direction. And I feel like if I went to another company or like anywhere else, they would just take advantage of me. They're like, oh, like, and I look young too. So like, oh, like, yeah, you could drive a truck. So I didn't feel like that comfort with anybody else. So I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just find like another job. And at the time, I had my personal training license. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, my certification. And I'm just like, I want to train, but the hours were so sporadic. It's like you work 2 hours on Monday and then maybe 1 on Tuesday and like 3 on Sunday. Damn. It's a hard world out there for training. It's like, damn, I'm like, I thought I would be making good money doing personal training, but I'm not making enough to just pay my bills. Yeah. So I worked as a secretary at a medical office, which is fucking shit. If you work in the medical field, God bless your soul. They're bitches. Like, if you surround women with women, our cycle is all at the same time, and we're all like savages. Like, I mind you, I was with men my whole life, so I was the only one in a bad mood, and they're like, oh, life is great. I'm like, no, fuck life. Oh my goodness. It's dark. And then if you have all women on the, like, I think it was like 30 women on the same thing, like everyone's a bitch. And I'm like, damn. Like,
so you wanted out? Like,
I wanted out immediately, but I couldn't because I had bills. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I have to pay my bills. And then my brother he called me up on a rainy day. I remember this exactly. I'm in my little Toyota Corolla going to work, and it was like 7 a.m. and he calls me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, driving to work. And this is Jeffrey, by the way. He's like, so are you serious about driving? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I think it would be nice. Like, I think, like, I want to open up my gym. Like, that's, like, my dream. And he's just like, okay. He's like, get your CDL then. And then he asked me how much I get paid. He's like, you'll make that in less than a week. And I was like, what? And I was like, no way. And he's like, yeah, mind you, it all depends on what you do when you drive. Course, yeah. Every pay is different. And I was like, no way. And he's like, yeah, get your CDL and then we'll talk. And I was like, okay. Mind you, I had a little savings account. So getting my CDL was $1,000. Because it's like you have to pay for the school and you have to rent the truck to take the test. So you need to rent it. So it was like a little bit like $1,000. And then I was taking my test, and every single teacher I had looked at me and they were like, what's a pretty young lady like you, like, driving? And I'm like, shut the fuck up and teach me how to drive. Like, shut up. Yeah. Like, teach me how to drive, man. So he taught me how to drive, and he's just like, you should just have a man like take care of you. And at the time I was single, I'm like, I need no man to make my money. I'm like, I need no man. So I got my CDL and I cried because I was like, yes.
You fucking did it. Yeah.
It took me like a little bit over a month to get, because like all my classes were like different. But when I got it, I was like, I'm about to make my bag, bitches. And then I got it, quit my job. I'm like, fuck you guys. And then I went to my brother, and then the pandemic happened, and I was like, oh wow, I'm like, this is kind of scary.
Yeah, but I'm you driving and stuff, but that's harsh. Like, and it's not for nothing, but that is like what I would say stereotypically a man type of job, right?
Oh, and I love it though. It's great.
Truck drivers are different beasts too.
Dude, it's a different breed.
Yeah.
Like some of them are like so nice, but some of them like you get like 20% in a good mood, like 10% like they mind their own business, like they don't want to talk to you, and the other percent are just assholes. And I'm just like literally, I'm like, I want, like, it's so bad. I'm not a fighter, but I want to fight someone when I'm working. It's so bad. Yeah. Like, I'm such a nice person. I'm like, wow, love life. But when I'm there, I'm like, I want to fuck someone up. I'm like, let's go. And my brother's like, Tatiana, calm down. I'm like, no, let's go. Yeah. Like, I want to fight.
So are you the only woman in the
company? Yeah.
In the company? Wow.
Yeah, in the company, yeah.
And like these harsh hours, like, is it just long drives?
Like, what do you mean? Like,
because you say you drive like 15 hours sometimes. Or
sometimes, like, it all depends. Like, the thing is like, I thought I had a burp. Sorry, I was like, I'm about to burp. So it all depends on like on the day. So like, if a company orders something, like they're like, oh, I just want 2 loads of this, and it's in Jersey, I could be done by like 12 in the afternoon.
Oh, you said.
Excuse me. But sometimes I go to Deer Park, which is New York City. So I wake up at 1 a.m. and I leave and I drive 2 hours. I drive through Manhattan, New York, whatever, and then I drive 2 hours back in New Jersey to get back at 6 a.m. to get loaded for another job that I need to be there at 7 a.m. So it's all like crazy shit. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, you just drive. And I'm like, do my fucking job. Please do my job and wake up at 1.
Yo, I get scared for driving. I had to drive the company van. And it's like a Ram ProMaster, so it's not even a truck.
I love that.
It's like
you
a little
live in that.
van. Yo, for real, you could.
You can.
The amount of space, but I had to drive it all the way to Chicago. And as I'm doing that, I'm just driving it, and it like the first 2 hours, you're like happy because you're getting to see different roads.
Like, wow.
Yeah, but after you hit the 4th hour and you know how much more you got left, you're like, why did I do this? Like,
yeah,
this
it's
is
like
so
dreadful because it's all the same. Highway, yellow line. Different cars.
Different
and games
cars.
Get boring, podcasts get boring,
yeah.
but not this one.
Hey.
And it's just like, it's crazy because I do listen to podcasts that like I remember when I started driving, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do for 15 hours? People are like, oh, listen to music. I'm like, but music gets boring.
It does.
Like, music gets boring. So I started listening to podcasts. My friend JP was telling me, he was like, you need to listen to them to like engage your mind and like just like feel engaged in the conversation, and then you start thinking, and then your mind gets going, and then you're more awake. And I'm like, that's bullshit. So I started listening to podcasts, and I was like, oh shit.
What type of podcast you listen to?
I listen to The Basement Yard.
Okay, never heard of that.
You never
one?
heard of them? Fucking hilarious. I listened to them a long time ago, and then do you know Call Her Daddy? You don't call her daddy?
I've heard of those 2 girls. They were having some problems.
It's one father now.
Oh,
it's one father.
The other she left?
Yeah, some bullshit. I'm not sure.
I know there was some bullshit happening though.
Yeah, it's one now. But like they just like talk about girl shit and like true like things that like people don't talk about because it's inappropriate. And I'm like, no, I want to know. Like, I want to know the tea. What's the latest toy? What's girls talking about? Like, what's the drama? It's like girl talk, but you're not actually talking to them.
No, yeah, they were breaking records and stuff going up. Like, that's how I found out about them. Because one of my favorite podcasters were talking about these girls, but they went into a feud. It sucks because there was a duo, right? And now it's not.
I think it was like a duo, and then they broke up, and that's why sometimes I say like when I was trying to open up my gym, like my friend's like, "Oh, let me do it with you." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Did you see what happened to Alex Cooper?" And like her, I'm like, "No, I can't do that."
Yeah, no, because and then sometimes. That's the fucked up part where also family and business, sometimes it makes well, but sometimes it doesn't.
Dude, it's fucked up. Like, it's like you love your family, but you can't lie to them. It's like, oh yeah, I need the day off. I'm sick.
Oh,
and they're like,
right.
Are you sick? And then they see a snap of you at the beach, and you're like, oh fuck, like I can't. You can't lie.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like at the time I was living with my brother, so it was just like I'm like I'm sick. He's like, you're not fucking sick, and I was like, fuck. I was like, I just wanted to go to sleep.
Get up, let's go.
It's like crazy. It's like, come on, let's make your money. And I was like, okay. He doesn't live with me anymore. He's married now. Hey. But yeah, it's crazy. Like working with family, it's fun, but at the same time, it's like I wouldn't change it for the world. But sometimes it sucks.
Yeah, because you got to sometimes swallow some stuff that you don't. Well, do you? I mean, how?
Do I?
Feel like you could. I feel like you could be open though, right? To your brothers or something.
I could be open to like. So the thing is, it's like like all the drivers like I grew up with. Like some of them are my cousins.
Ah,
like
okay.
So it's like family. But sometimes it's like I have to push that aside and be like, if you're doing something that is like destroying equipment, like the truck or something, like I'm gonna choose my brother. Like that's my blood. Like I'm sorry. Like it's like I'm tattletailing, but it's like it's my brother.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I'm fucking him up. So like our drivers are fantastic, but if something happens, I'm like, hey, you need to tell him, or like I'm gonna have to tell him. Like, you know what I mean? But they never hide anything from my brother. It's like a pretty open relationship. It's like, hey, Jeff, I fucked up. And it's like, he's like, okay, like, fuck, like, we'll fix it. Like, my brother's very understanding in that sense. Like, he's so giving. He's so understanding. But, like, when you, like, ruin an $800 rim, it's like,
ooh.
I'm like, so I ran over, like, a curb and it, like, dented the rim. And he's like, all right, you could pay for that. Yeah. So it sucks, but, like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Oh, man. Everything. But you have to keep that family comes first, right? That's what they always tell you, especially in like a Spanish household. Oh yeah, family is like, oh, that matters at the end of the day. But it can get complicated. I mean, with these guys here, like when done, like we've had our ups and downs. No, we're not.
Okay.
No, we're not.
No,
but like
we're
friends. But when we started this, it was like I used to just do podcasting by myself. It was just being by myself. Then they came. They're like, yo, let's try to bring it back. We'll call it a different name, and we'll have our own thing to do. Like, and sometimes it gets messy. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, sometimes I just want to choke him out. Like this guy,
you've been pointing at him the whole episode.
Because this guy, though, he's my trigger.
You're like, you just piss me off.
But yeah, but no. So call her daddy. That's one of your
that's like my all-time favorite.
Basement yard. You said
basement, dude.
I'm gonna check that one out because I love podcasts.
I never cried laughing in my truck.
Really, it's like that.
Cried. Like my brother Kevin got me into it, and the thing about my brother Kevin is like if he finds something like and I like it, he won't tell me what it is. Like if I remember when before The Weeknd came out, like when I was in middle school, he was listening to The Weeknd, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he sounds so good. What is his name? He's like, wouldn't you like to know? And I'm like, there was no Shazam, and I'm like, I'm fucked. So I would, and then The Weeknd came out. I'm like, wait, isn't this the guy that you liked? He's like, yeah. Now everyone likes him, and I'm like, oh. And then when I found out about the basement yard, like I would hear him listening to his room, and I would be laughing. I'm like, oh, what is it? And he's like, wouldn't you like to find out? And I was like, yeah, I would. And I think one day he was in the shower, and I went to his room, and I looked on his laptop. I'm like, fuck yes, I found it. I don't know why he keeps things to himself, but it's really funny. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think he started it in his basement, so it was pretty funny. I don't know.
I'm gonna search them up and,
he's funny.
Support. Yeah. So you usually listen to that on long drives and stuff, but it gets repetitive. How do you keep yourself awake, yo? Because
do you want to like really know? This is really gross. Like, do you really want to know?
Go ahead.
Why are you looking at me?
Go ahead,
it's gross. It's nasty.
He needs this.
Sunday morning, whatever. So.
Truck drivers like do some.
No, but
like what? I want to know. I don't think mine's crazy. It's like common.
Okay. Well, there's this stigma like, that right. most truck drivers either they have they gotta pick me up, ready to go.
What do you mean like a pick me up? Like why'd you do this? Like a lot lizard? Oh, like crack or coke. Okay.
Yeah, coke.
You're like, I'm like, okay.
Coke.
So like one of the things was I was driving and our start time was 7 a.m. right? I see a guy like cut like a cigar. And I'm like looking at him, and my windows are tinted, so I'm like literally staring into his eyes. I'm like, why are you doing that? It's like 7 a.m. So I think I posted it on my story. I'm like, what is the need to just light up a thick ass cigar? And then someone, I think he's in the army, messaged me, and he's like, nicotine wakes you up. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't know. Mind you, I'm a past smoker. So I was like, oh shit. Like, I completely forgot about that. So, like, if they need instead of a coffee, they light up a cigar. And I was like, that's fucking wild.
Fuck, on top of a coffee?
No, not on top of a
No, I mean, while drinking coffee.
Yeah.
No, imagine.
Like, I was like, you mean like the ash on top of the coffee when they drink the coffee? No, that's what I thought you meant. No, they're like, fuck the coffee. Like, the nicotine hits more. Yeah. Then they gives you the morning shit too, so it's like fine. So my brother Jeff told me, like, I was driving and I was like lagging, like, and I had a good night's sleep. It's just like, it just looks like tunnel vision. Everything looks the same. Mm-hmm. And I'm like lagging. And Jeffrey's like, my brother's like, go to the bathroom. And I'm like, what? And he's like, go to the bathroom, you'll get a second wind. And I'm like, all right. Mind you, took my morning poop. And I'm like, I feel like a brand new woman. Yeah. And I'm awake. So like every single time in the morning, I'm like, yep, need to take my morning poop. My morning poop. Wakes me the fuck up. Don't underestimate your poop.
Really?
Next time you do a long drive, take a poop. I kid you not. Wow. Literally, wakes. It's like some sort of magic. Like, it's so weird. Like, my friend was like, oh yeah, I need to take a shit. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, feel like $10,000. And I was like, okay. And I didn't believe it's true. It's fucking true, man. Have you never heard of that?
No.
Second wind.
Take
a shit.
For long distance driving, second wind, take a shit.
I tried Red Bulls, like chugging Red Bulls. I tried coffee. Like, I can't do it. Or like eating sugary stuff, like to just get me energized, doesn't work. But a poop does.
Got it.
Poop does. Yeah, that's the secret. And he's like, ooh, that's it. I'm like, that's it. It literally is.
Because most of them do rely, without the clean ones, I would say. Like the UPS drivers, I would like to think, or if any of those like FedEx drivers, the ones that go cross countries and stuff.
No,
like,
that's a different monster.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I see that they have the little pouches sometimes, and you just take out and you start putting.
Do you like pack a lip?
No.
Coke?
No.
Like what's it? I don't know.
I mean, they're packing
like a tobacco.
Tobacco chew.
Oh, okay.
You just put it in your mouth.
You didn't say anything.
Yeah, imagine. They start overdosing right there on the
dot. Like I don't know.
No, and I tried it. Not tobacco chew, but like smoking cigarettes for long distance drives, and it works. But then, like you said, that tunnel vision, it's just you start lagging. But I never tried, and I don't like taking shits, especially in like pits.
Oh, okay. I'm like, who doesn't like a nice shit? I was like, wait a minute.
No, that's therapeutic.
Dude, sometimes
it is though.
$200, fuck a therapist. Take a shit. No, so. Mind you, like, I have to go to a porta potty. Like, sometimes I have to take the bullet and go in a porta potty. And I'm just like,
yo, for real though.
No, I hover. And I'm 5'1". So you know how hard it is to hover on a tall-ass porta-john? I'm just like, I don't want to see. And then it's just really hard.
Yeah, backsplash on a porta potty.
You have to be strategic. There's geometry that, like, the landing.
You make the calculations.
Yeah, but, like, I was, like when we do our pit stops at like picking up company like material, like they do have like these trailers where like they do have a bathroom, but COVID hit when I started driving, so some of them are like, no, COVID, you can't use our bathroom. I'm like, then where else am I supposed to go? Yeah. So they get like a porta-john like outside, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like, it's about to look like a murder scene in that porta-john. Yeah. And then sometimes I'm just like, I have a deviated symptom, so I can't smell like at all. Like very lightly. Like I can smell some things, but I can't smell like whatever. Came in handy for a porta-john. I don't smell nothing. And I'm just like hovering, and sometimes I'm just like, either I hold it and shit my pants, or I have to go here. And I'm like, whatever. Porta-johns are like pieces of cake.
That's another thing.
Give me a porta-john. I'll do that than going poop in the woods. Like F that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Give me your toughest drive that you've had so by far.
Like emotionally?
No. like truck though. Toughest. Like I've seen these things that History Channel has, like Deadliest Roads or whatever. The truck drivers.
Every road in Jersey is like the dangerous road. Like the potholes are crazy. That's like a hard one. I think like no drive is really like hard. Like I don't think like you guys would notice like that some roads have like weight limits. Have you ever noticed like 4-ton weight limit? 4 tons is not a lot. It's like 8,000 pounds. So your car typically weighs like 2,000 pounds. My truck by itself weighs 30,000 pounds.
Oh snap!
And if I'm loaded, I'm 80,000 pounds. So if I'm like about to go and like, especially if it's like, you know, like the white picket fence neighborhood, it's like they don't want trucks because of the noise, and it's like disturbing. It's like, no, we're too good for your noise, so they have a restriction on their road. But sometimes like I need to go through that road to get to my job, and sometimes there's cops, and sometimes they're like, oh, you're on a limit road, and I'm like, well, no shit, where else am I supposed to fucking go? Yeah. So sometimes it's like hard. Like when who gave me the address? Oh, you? Oh, it's always like overlook at Flanders, and I'm like, okay, where the fuck? I'm literally like, I have a satellite GPS, so I'm like looking. I'm like, so there's a lot of buildings here, and so where are we going? Damn, Milo. And then I'm also like, where am I gonna park my car? Like, I'm literally like.
It's because I forgot the apartment number, right? So like,
bro,
I had to look it back up, and then I sent it to you this morning.
Yeah, I was like looking, and I'm just like, so I guess I'm gonna tell someone to pick me up at the front. But like every single time I get like a new address, I pinpoint it, and then I literally stretch it out.
Oh, so you gotta
and I look at every single road, and if there's a bridge that is like 11 feet and under, I can't go through it. So I think like that's like challenging part is probably like finding like the leeways of like being okay going through certain roads, because some roads are too short of like bridges, or like if there's like a little bridge going like by water, it can't hold your weight. Oh yeah. So you could fall in. Damn. So I think like that's the hardest part. Like driving like here and there, like it's not hard. The hours are long, but you'll get fucking over it. But like it's just like the restrictions of like some roads. It's like 4-ton limit road. I'm like, why? Why is it 4-ton limits? Like, fuck this, bro. But like I think that's like the only challenging part, or like the toughest part about it is it's like your job's right here, but every single road around it is a restriction. So I'm like, then how am I gonna go there? And my coworkers are like, just go, and I'm like, but a ticket is like $500. Yeah. So I'm like, so you just try to find another way around, and
so it's more complicated. It's more complex than it really shows. For me, I'm obviously not no truck driver, but I would think, all right, they have their set GPS to the location, and that's it. Just drive a truck. That's all. But it's that's what I thought.
Let me bring you to work. Come to work with me.
Yo, there's another thing that's fucked up that I see all the time is that they take advantage of the big trucks in traffic. Every time there's a cutoff, you're always cutting off with either those 18-wheelers or those big trucks.
Why are you one of them? Yeah, fucker. Because what do you drive? What's your license plate? Next time I see you, I'll freaking rail you, man. Yeah. I swear to God.
Because like it takes a while for the engine to start going again, right? To just move the big, right? So they see you. Everybody stops, right? And then everybody starts to go. Obviously, like the smaller cars, they just start going. But it takes a while for a truck to start running its engine. So you see that, and you're like, oh, let me go right in there.
Yeah, so a lot of people do that. And one time I was about to ram like a BMW. And I was like, I wish I did, because this fucker pissed me off. Oh my God. I was so pissed. So like the thing with that is, it's like, you're like, oh, open space. But to us, it's like, oh, your engine takes a little bit while to go, right? That's not the case. The case is it takes me longer to stop. So I give him that space, like, let's say, like, I'm the truck and you're, like, across from me. I give you that space, so when you do go, like, it's like my break time. So, like, if you cut me off, you cut my break time in half. Oh, shit. So if you cut me off, you might be a part of that break time in me to hit you. So, like, that's where it's like, you have to look at your rear views. If you see someone merging, you can't go. So we stop and we let you go and stuff. And this one Beamer almost hit me. And I'm like, you look fucking stupid. Like, that's like, what are you doing?
Oh, you're going to demolish that little Beamer.
I was about to demolish. Like, one time I had to run into the shoulder because someone cut me off. And I was only going 40, but my truck, I'm 80,000 pounds. I was like, fuck. And I had to go to the shoulder. And I was on the phone with my brother, like on my Bluetooth. He's like, what happened? And I was like, I'm about to fucking ram a Beamer, bro. I wish I did. Fucking Karen. I was so pissed. And I don't get road rage, but I do when, like, a lot of people cut me off like that. It's also dangerous too. Like my friend is like, oh yeah, like you want to get past traffic, just cut a truck driver. And I'm like, are you a fucking idiot, bro? Like you're about to get rammed.
It is fucked up.
Like, so don't do that.
I'm sorry, I won't do that. I'll start practicing safer methods.
What kind of car do you drive? I feel like you drive a Kia.
No, I don't. I drive an Acura.
Okay, what's the license plate? I swear to God.
Yeah, you're gonna put me on the list.
Yeah, I know. I'll be like, everyone look out for this Acura.
So obviously you're going on the road, you're doing all these things. You actually do a lot of you travel, right? Or no? Like, or is it just
like for fun?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like on my spare time.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like for truck driving. I'm like, I only go to New York. That's it.
We're going.
Oh, okay. Switching topics.
Yeah.
Okay. You're like
no, because so on these things, right? I wanted to get into the Tots taste test and this segment that I feel like you should definitely keep doing because it's fun to just see you go like again.
I'm so passionate.
Yeah, exactly for this stuff. And we were like trying to figure out like when you're gonna come in, what should we do with her and this thing because you have.
Sounds naughty. Just kidding. Yo, what should we have for her to eat?
Exactly. We were gonna do something like that, but we didn't.
Okay, I was like, oh shit.
We were gonna bring like all these different type of Latin American snacks and have you taste them and see what you thought about them. But the problem is we do not have that much adversity, even though we would want to think that it is. It's hard to get. Like
it is hard.
The only snacks you probably get is like Colombian snacks, Mexican snacks. Or
Honduran snacks.
Where at? Salvadoran snacks. Where at?
My dad's in Honduras now. I could have texted.
You see, but we couldn't do that. But let me talk about Tots taste test. Yeah. How did that come about? And is it something that you just put out and say, "Yo, what do you want me to try out next or whatever?" Or
so a funny story with that. It happened like when I started like my fitness like journey and like. You want to like have healthier alternatives like I don't want to eat a pizza but like what could I do like that kind of like substitutes that so I was like doing substitutes and I think like when you go on Instagram and you can like archive your stories 2017 I found this video of me saying Tot taste test and I completely forgot about it and I was watching it I'm like yo I'm a fucking crackhead I'm like, and I was trying paleo pancakes and I literally was like this is shit it tastes like crap 2 out of 10 and I remember it and I think I was blonde and I had a pixie cut so I was like I was cut out a pixie cut 2017 and I was like oh my god I remember when I used to do that so I brought it back and still did the same thing like healthy alternatives so that's like what it's all about
got it
healthier alternatives and if they're actually worth trying because a lot of people are like oh my god I love a good rice cake and I'm like shut the fuck up those are shit. Like, those are horrible. Like, those are like a 5 to me, unless there's Nutella on top. But
Nutella makes everything better.
I love Nutella. So, it was just, like, all about that. And then, as I was doing it, like, I would find healthier alternatives. Like, I see other influencers try it. I'm like, you know what? Like, because, sometimes they're paid to do that. And I'm like, I'm not fucking getting paid. I'm like, so I'll tell the truth. So, I tried them. And I'm like, yo, whoever told you to taste, like, those super coffees that are, like, at ShopRite or something? Trash. And I'm like, yo, this person told me it was like a 10 out of 10 and it's like a fucking 2. It tastes like a watered down Keurig coffee. It sucks. And I was like, fuck this. So I kept on doing it. And then just people messaged me like, oh, you should try this. You should try that. You should try this. You should try that. And then I got a text from Pliables about trying like their new, like some spring, whatever. And I was making fun of it. I'm like, oh my God, Pliables, you want a Tot taste test? And then they messaged me. They're like, yeah. And I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Oh,
I was like, sure. Like, are you just sponsoring me? So I haven't done that yet because I drive, bro. I don't have time. I only have time on the weekends. So I was like, okay, like, sure. And like other people were like, oh, try the Starbucks coffee. Like, oh, try this. So like, that's how like everyone just tells me like, tell me if this is trash. And I'm like, okay. Like, not gonna lie.
So you became like, you're getting known for your tongue.
Well, honestly, like mostly for my Tot taste test.
Gotcha.
And it was just for like shits and giggles. Like it was just like, I don't know.
You're gonna fuck around and you're gonna get picked up.
I know. Imagine I'm like, yo, this is honestly like just a joke, and people are like, no, we want it.
People are, yeah.
I'm just like, no, guys, like it's literally not that serious. But people like honestly like my one friend is sponsored. I forget the company. She was sponsored, and she's like, try them. like try them, and if you like them, give out my discount code. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, sure. And then a lot of protein companies like want me to like, oh, sponsor us. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking sponsor you if I don't like your shit.
Gotcha.
And that's just the pure honesty. I'm just like, I'm not gonna like.
Even if they offer the bag.
Even if they offer me, I can make my own $5,000. Thank you very much. But if I'm just like, if it's shit, then my word gets diminished.
Word, I gotcha.
So it's like,
this is what people are like taking in consideration.
Yeah.
Like, so she's being honest about the product. So
yeah,
okay.
but my taste buds are probably different than everybody else's. So I'm like, take my tatas slightly. Okay. Maybe you like it, and I just like, it was trash.
Okay, okay.
That's how it came about. And then everyone's just like, I think I stopped doing it for about a month, and someone's like, so when is the Tate Says coming back?
You see?
Go back to scheduled programming? And I'm just like, hold the fuck up, man.
That's
like,
cool.
I have nothing in mind to test.
Well, because you're looking in the wrong areas. You're going healthy alternatives.
I know, and you're just like, give me like that freaking fried pickle.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Well, you know what I do want to try that's not healthy? Have you ever seen like mukbangs, whatever? Have you ever seen a Korean corn dog?
Where it's like drizzled with like
Yes! Oh my god, I want to try that so bad. Like, mouth watering. Oh my god.
Where do you even get a Korean corn dog?
It's like a Korean corn dog with like, it's fried. And it's also like one that's like just a big ass mozzarella stick, but it's fried with like ketchup and mustard on top with like crunchies. And I'm just like, oh my god. And I'm lactose intolerant, so I will shit my pants, but I don't give a fuck.
You'll take the hit.
I want to try it, so that's the only thing I'll ever like. I want to try it so bad. It's probably like a lot.
Where'd you get that? That sounds good.
I looked it up. New York. That's where I was. Like, I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I want to try it. He's like, okay, where can we go? It's fucking New York, and I'm like, why?
Damn.
And I drive through New York, but everything's closed at like 3 a.m. I'm like, fuck this. So I need to make a trip to go.
Got it.
To get that.
Would you do a taste test for that?
Yes, absolutely. I'll cry even getting it in my hand. And if it's shit, I think I'll cry even more because I drove there. And gas is not cheap.
No, it's not.
So I think that's like the unhealthy thing. If it's unhealthy, like the thing is I don't want to make it a habit of mine to like eat like junk food like that.
Well, do you have cheat days though?
Fuck yeah. I'm not a fucking perfectionist.
I gotcha.
Like I like intuitively eat. Like if like I work out and like I'm content with how I look now. Like, and if I want to eat like what's it called? It's like Australian, I think. Fish and chips. Like when they deep fry the, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like English.
Is it English? Is it British?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I see Australians.
I mean, Australians.
Like, fish. Oh, maybe I'm confusing the accents. But like, I'm just like, my boyfriend had it, and I'm like, what is
Fish
that? And
chips,
it's like fried like freaking fish and like I'm like, oh my god. I had like a whole plate of it once, and I'm like, no regrets.
Tater
and I can't say no to Chick-fil-A.
Oh my goodness.
Like Chick-fil-A, I'm glad I don't live close to it. Chick-fil-A is magnifique. And then when I gained my weight, it was mainly from Burger King.
Ew.
Don't say that. Shut up. You don't
God.
like Burger King? Burger King's better than McDonald's.
I mean, yeah, but Wendy's is definitely.
Thank you. I like
burgers,
him.
Yeah.
Let him do the podcast.
Burger King. Oh, the only thing about Burger King though is a 2 for $5. You get 2 sandwiches for $5.
You don't like the milkshakes?
Oh my god,
with
yes.
With the thick fries?
Yes. Okay, you got me there. But the burger though, it's just like we're not gonna keep going with the
food.
Yeah, because I'm getting hungry.
Oh yeah, it's only like I don't know.
It's noon. You switched the time on us, yo.
Oh, but dude, I wake up at 6 a.m.
So you're active. I'm active. I'm waking up here at 10 in the morning. I'm like, damn, I gotta get ready, yo. I forgot.
Oh my god, yeah. So what happened was my I'm not gonna say who it was.
Okay.
Someone passed away.
Oh, okay.
And I need to be there. Like, I want to visit him, but I need to be in bed by like 6 and 7 o'clock. But I don't ever want to rush my time. But that's why I was like, oh, do you want to reschedule the day or the time? So that's what that's where that came from.
Right,
nothing
so
of like, I can't do this.
No, I thought it was because then that means that she's up already early and like she just wants to like get this over with.
I woke up and my dog Stella was not. She was just like, go back to bed, and I'm like, no, wake up.
That's your dog?
I have a
That the one that you have, like, you had on your story, the one you said, my daughter.
Yeah, that is my daughter.
Yo,
why would I say it's my daughter? It's not my dog.
Because there's a dog that I really love, Pepe. I love
Luna?
you. Love you. No, that's Luna. That's his. But they say you can't call him your son because it's not your dog. So it's like, what the fuck? But me and him share like a...
That's my daughter. I love her. I love everything. Everyone tells me, like, my life is just, like, everything's big. Like, my truck is big. I have a big car. I have a big dog. My boyfriend's 6'4".
Let's talk about that car, too, yo.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Sheesh, a Jeep truck.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's ugly. They're like, it's so ugly. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
You wanted your taste.
It's my car. Yeah.
It's a Wrangler?
No.
Made into a truck, or what is it?
Yeah, so like why? So what happened was I had a Toyota Corolla, like a 4-door 2016 Toyota Corolla, and like I say I bought the car for my dog, a little bit of both, but my dad bought me my first car. I'm so blessed to have my dad buy me my first car, but in reality, when he bought it for me, like I was there and he's like, oh, I want you to get you something reliable. Toyota's good, which it is. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not big. Like my dog is like standing up like 6 foot.
What breed is it?
She's a Great Dane.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So she's a Great Dane. She's gonna be 3 in August. And so
3 in August, yo, that's a young dog. That's a...
Yeah, but they don't live long, which is really bad.
Stop.
They live for 6 to 12 years. All varies. I'm like, it's so sad. But she's gonna live her best life. I'm taking her to the beach, I think.
Look at
next month. Yeah, I'm so excited.
A Great Dane is the same breed as a Scooby-Doo, right?
It is. It is, yeah, the same.
I'm just saying, because the dog literally...
But she doesn't have the floppy ears. She has pointed ears.
Gray. She's gray, right? Color gray, or what is she?
I think they call her a merle. So she's like gray with black, like sparse dots, and then she has like a white lightning bolt on her forehead. So I call it little Harry Potter. I'm like a little Harry Potter. But she's great. She's about to be 3, and she's the biggest couch potato. And I feel like when I have kids, it's gonna be the death of me. I swear to God. I want them to live their best life. And so I told her, I'm like, when I get you, I'm gonna let you live your best life. You're gonna go on so many road trips. And that's my plan with her. And the reason why I switched cars was because she was like this all the time. And like when she would hit her head on the window, like her neck, and it just broke my heart. And I just wanted a Jeep. And so I saved my money, and then I switched cars, and I was stuck between a Wrangler or a Jeep truck. And my dream was to always live in my car. It's like, have you ever like seen like those tents and stuff? Always wanted to live in my car. And so I have that. I have my bedrock and have a rooftop tent and everything. And yeah. And then I bought the car, and everyone thinks it's ugly because it's not a Wrangler. And I'm like, I
thought it was a Wrangler made into a truck. But
I mean, it was like that at one point, but people are just like, no, it's not a Wrangler.
People take pictures of your stuff and say, hey, I see you.
All the time, because everyone knows I have my name on my door. And my dog's name on my door. And like people, I guess not a lot of people have it. So everyone's like, I see you. I'm like, yo, I can't go to fucking nowhere. I think one day I had off during the week, and everyone's like, I see you. And I'm like, yo, you fucking stalkers. You got stalkers. Which is cool, but sometimes I just don't want to be looked at. And I'm just like, don't look at me.
So like right now, you're going to go out with your cap and your sunglasses. Make sure nobody gets to notice.
I have limo tints, so no one knows no one sees me.
Gotcha.
I love that. If you don't have tints, get tints. It's the best money you could ever spend.
Tatiana, so you put me on to start taking care of what I eat and do something that I would like to be active to lose weight. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You've also told me not to freaking be cutting off big trucks. Everybody should do the same thing. Well, you motherfuckers on exit 43, I see that happening all the time. Exit 43 to 287, that's a dangerous exit. On 80,
I'm there all the time.
Oh my goodness, I got rear-ended there, but you hear there. And you told me about your Origins of Tots taste test. And for that, I'm thankful for you even giving us the time to learn more about you. And you're definitely tailor-made to either make your own, keep going with the segments.
Yeah.
Or maybe one time just start vlogging your trips and stuff. That'd be dope. I
know. Everyone wants a YouTube channel. I need to. I'm just very...
You're out. You're like... your energy is definitely the same way you are...
Oh, in real life, yeah. 100%.
And another thing about that I got to learn is that you definitely are also, if it wasn't your mindset to be a truck driver, I don't think you would have survived if it was some because I feel like a woman can do just as good as a job, if not better, than a man.
Yeah.
But for you to be in that environment as a truck driver is crazy. But the fact that you're wild. Your mind is like that, you fit in that as well. Yeah. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And thank you guys for watching. Shout out the crew again. Milo, are you taking any new people for your personal?
Message me if you want a program. I got you.
Oof, there you go.
Got you.
Thank you very much, guys. To the next time. Deuces.
Everybody going to the front. Take it, you don't have a clue. Everybody's here but you.